Good morning, dear students. Previous class we had discussed about changing society, new castes, and hierarchies. So today's class we are going to learn about the gods. The gods. See, the gods. So they are also one of the prominent tribe people of our subcontinent. So the Guns they were lived in a vast forested region, so which is called as Gundam. It's called as Gundam, or country inhabited by Guns, and also called as country inhabited by Guns. See, see the similarity, the Gondwana and the Guns. So why this forest area, this forest region, so it's well known as, or it's called as Gondwana. So why? Because the tribe people, Gonds, so they were lived in these forest regions. So that's what that region, it's well known as, and even the present day it is used to called as Gondwana only because of the Gonds. So the Gondwana, it is actually a country inhabited by Gonds. Allina Moola Nivasigalu. See the Gonds people, so they were practiced shifting cultivation. The Gonds were practiced shifting cultivation. So what is the meaning of shifting cultivation? So shifting cultivations means, so usually they used to select the area and they used to clear the forest, especially by burning, and afterwards so they were going to cultivate those regions and continuously for some time, and when that particular land which was cultivated, when it was lost its fertility, and the producers, when they observe the decrease of the production, and they used to shift for another land for agriculture purpose. They used to search a new land and they are shifting another land, and the same process again. So they are cleared the forest by burning, and afterwards again they used to cultivate, and afterwards or after some time, so again when the producers is less, then afterwards they used to go for the next place or the region. So this used to called as a shifting cultivation. So that's what even this shifting cultivation, it's called as slash and burning. Slash and burning cultivation. So regarding this you are going to learn more in geography section. Okay. So here the Gonds actually they were practiced so this kind of cultivation, that is shifting cultivation. See the large Gond tribe, so they were again further divided into different groups and the small clans. See, each clan had its own Raja or Raj. So each clan. So these ones. So there were tribes. They were further divided into smaller clans, and the chiefs of it had each clans had its own. Those were called as Raja or Raj. Raja or Rai. See, about the time that the power of the Delhi Sultan was declined. See, during this time, actually, the Delhi Sultans, so they were declined. There was decline. So a few large Gond kingdoms, so they were dominated the smaller Gond chiefs. So usually it's very common even in the present day also. So those were so strong, those were so high, powerful. So they used to dominate the weaker one or the lesser. So ಇವತ್ತಿಗೂ ಸಹ ನಾವು ಆ ಒಂದನ್ನ ಕಾಣ್ತೀವಿ ಮಕ್ಕಳ. So here some of the prominent powerful gods. So they were dominated the other smaller god chiefs. You all of you knows that the Akbar Nama, Akbar Nama actually tell us about the history of Akbar. The history of Akbar and its the reigns and then administration and all. So in this book, so they were mentioned the Gond kingdom of Gara Katanga. Then Gara so where it was mentioned now in the Akbar Nama. So the Gond kingdom, Garha Katanga or Katanga, so it was the name of one of the Gond kingdom. So this Gond kingdom, Garha Katanga or Katanga, so that had 70,000 villages. 70,000 villages. And that shows that the size of the Gond kingdom. So there was no doubt the Garha Katanga, it was one of the largest Gond kingdom during the time, which was mentioned in Akbar Nama. Got it, dear students? Now we'll see the administrative system of these kingdoms. The administrative system of these kingdoms. See, actually the administrative system of these kingdoms was becoming centralized. It was becoming centralized administrative system we can have. The kingdom was divided into Gar. Gar means the division, or actually what we called, for example, in the present day, our India is divided into many states, and afterwards the states are divided into different districts, and afterwards the districts are divided into talukas, and then again Wobli and so on, so things. So like that, for administrative system to make easy and to run the administrative system in a smooth way, how we are in the present days, we are divided the whole India into different administrative unit. The same way, dear students, I think you all of knows that even during the time also the kings, so they were divided their kingdom into different regions, or what we call the prantya regions or provincials. Understood, in a different kingdoms that we can see in a different way. So here the Gond kingdom divided into many Gar. So the large kingdoms were divided into Gar. Understood? See, each Gar was controlled by a particular Gond clan. So particular clan or chief. So ಪ್ರತಿಯೊಂದು ಘರ್ಗಳು ಸಹ ಮಕ್ಕಳ, ಸೊ ಪರ್ಟಿಕ್ಯುಲರ್ ಗೊಂಡ್ ಕ್ಲಾನ್ ಅವರು ಕಂಟ್ರೋಲ್ ಇಟ್ಕೊಂಡಿರ್ತಾರೆ, ಅಥವಾ ಒಂದು ಮುಖ್ಯಸ್ಥರು ಅಂತ ಏನ್ ಕರಿತೀವಿ, ಚೀಫ್ ಆಫ್ ದಟ್ ಕ್ಲಾನ್ used to controlled each gar separately. So this was again further divided into units of 84 villages. Again, so this gar were further divided into units of 84 villages. Units of 84 villages. So that shows that, dear students, One ghar means, so it is actually including, it is about 84 villages, 84 ಹಳ್ಳಿಗಳಿಂದ ಕೂಡಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂತಹ ಒಂದು ಗುಂಪುಗೆ ಆ ಒಂದು ಘರ್ ಅಂತೇಳಿ ಡಿವೈಡ್ ಮಾಡಿರ್ತಾರೆ. And these, the 84 units of villages, understood now? So these 84 units of villages, so they were called as chaurasi. ಇದನ್ನೇನಂತ ಕರೀತಿದ್ರು ಮಕ್ಕಳ ಈ ಯೂನಿಟ್ಸ್ ಗಳನ್ನ? ಸೊ ಇದನ್ನ chaurasi. So chaurasi means it's a units of, or a unit of 84 units of 84 villages, that is chaurasi. And this 84 villages unit chaurasi, and like that there are so many, all together used to called as ghars. Getting dear students, so for administrative purpose the Gund's kingdoms were divided into different ghars, and each ghars is actually, so including, it's about 84 villages units, and these units of 84 villages, that's used to called as a chaurasi. See, again this chaurasi was also, again this chaurasi or the unit of 84 villages also, so subdivided into boroughs. Subdivided into, again the chaurasis were subdivided into boroughs. Understood now? See, which were made up of 12 villages each. See, the boroughs actually consist of 12 villages each. 12 villages each. Got it, dear students? So this is what, so how for administrative purpose the Gund kingdoms were divided. So please keep in your mind, the Gund kingdoms were divided into ghars. Understood? So each ghars actually looked after by or controlled by particular Gund clan. The particular Gund clan so controlled the ghars. The ghars, it's actually the consist of, again, units of 84 villages. Getting these students? Then afterwards, so these units of 84 villages, which was well known as chaurasi. So these chaurasis were also subdivided into boroughs. So boroughs were consist of 12 villages. In each boroughs, it is about actually consist of, it had 12 villages each. Got this point, dear students? Then afterwards, the emergence of large states changed the nature of Gund society. It is always very common, dear students. So the emergence of large states changed the nature of Gund society. So their basically equal society gradually got divided into unequal social classes. See, this is what. So, especially dear students, when the large kingdoms or the large states were emerging, and that large states were changed the nature of the Gund society. Nature of Gund society. So, they're basically equal society. They're basically equal society. Now actually what happened now? Gradually got divided into unequal societies. Gradually what happened now? So got divided into unequal, what we call the social classes. For example, Brahmanas received during this time land grants from the Gondarans. Brahmanas, so they were received land grants from the Gund Rajas, and they became more influential. They became more influential during this time. So the Gond chiefs now wished to be recognized as Rajputs. Afterwards, what happened now? These Gond chiefs formed. So the Brahmanas were received land grants from the Gonds clans. The chiefs understood, or what we call the Gonds Raj, and they were became the Brahmanas. So they were became more influential in the society. And afterwards, the Gond chiefs now wished to be recognized as Rajputs. So this is what they wish. So the Gond chiefs now wished to be recognized as Rajputs. And all of you knows that. So here, who are recognized as the Rajputs? Actually, they were recognized by the Brahmanas as Rajputs. So Amandas, the Gond Raja of Garakatanga. So Amandas was actually the king or the Raja. Understood now? So he was the Gond Raja. Gond Raja of Garakatanga or Katanga was Amandas. Amandas, he was the Gond Raja of Garakatanga. See, he was assumed the title of. Afterwards, what happened? Actually, his original name Amandas. So, he was actually the Gond Raja of this Garakatanga kingdom. So, he was assumed the title of Sangram Shah. Understood now? So, the Gond Raja Amandas, so he was assumed the title of Sangram Shah. So Sangram Shah, it was the title assumed by the Gond Raja of Garakatanga Amandas. Got it, dear students? So Sangram Shah anadenidiala, that is actually the title of the Raja Amandas, was the king of the Raja of Garakatanga. And afterwards, his son Dalapat. So Sangram Shah's son or Amandas' son Dalapat, his name was Dalapat. So Sangram Shah or Amandas' son was Dalapat. See, Dalapat was the son of Amandas, who was the Gond Raja of Garakatanga kingdom. So he was a married Princess Durgavati. So Dalapat was married Durgavati. Dalapati was married Princess Durgavati. So Durgavati, she was the daughter of Salbahan. So actually, she was a daughter of Salbahan. Princess Durgavati, she was a daughter of Salbahan, so who was actually the Chandela Rajput Raja of Mahoba. The Chandela, who was this Salbahan? He was a Chandela Raja. Understood now? So Chandela Raja or is actually Rajput. Chandela Rajput. Chandela Rajput. Raja of which area? No? Mahoba. Chandela Rajput Raja of. Getting these students. Raja of Mahoba. So please don't get confusion. Once again, I would like to repeat the same. See here, the emergence of large states, so that were changed the Gond society, especially the nature of the Gond society. So they're basically equal society, but gradually got divided into unequal social classes. So the Brahmanas, they were received land grants from the Gond Rajas. The Brahmanas, they were received land grants from the Gond Rajas, and they were the Brahmanas, they were became more influential in the society. And also the same time, the Gond chiefs now wished to be recognized as Rajputs. And also they were recognized by the Rajputs. So, Amandas was the Gond Raja of Garakatanga kingdom. Understood now? Who was Amandas now? Amandas was the Gond Raja of Garakatanga kingdom, and later was assumed a title that was Sangrama Shah. He was assumed the title as the Sangrama Shah, and the Sangrama Shah or the Amandas, his son was Dalapat. So the Dalapat, he was married Princess Durgavati. Who was this Princess Durgavati now? So Princess Durgavati, she was a daughter of Salbahan. So Salbahan was Chandela Rajput Raja of Mahoba. Understood, dear students? So Salbahan was Chandela Rajput Raja of Mahoba. So now got it, dear students? So in this way, so we can connect from Amandas was actually the Gond Raja of Garakatanga kingdom, and later was assumed the title as Sangram Shah, and his son only Amandas, and Amandas was married Princess Durgavati, and Princess Durgavati, who she was a daughter of Salbahan. Salbahan was actually the Chandela Rajput Raja of Mahoba. Understood now? So dear students, so Dalapat was the husband of Queen Durgavati. So he was died early. And afterwards, Rani Durgavati was very capable, and she was starting a rule on behalf of her 5-year-old son. Was that Bir Narai? Got it, dear students? Then afterwards, what happened? No. So when the daughter of Salbahan, who she was married Dalapat, so actually Dalapat was died early, and afterwards Rani Durgavati, who she was the wife of the Dalapat, so she was very capable, and also started ruling on behalf of her 5-year-old son. 5-year-old son, Bir Narayan. Bir Narayan. Not Narayan. So, Narayan. Bir Narayan. So, Bir Narayan, he was a 5-year-old son of Rani Durgavati and Dadapai. Understood? See, under her, the kingdom became even more extensive. Under the control of Rani Durgavati, the kingdom became more extensive. So in 1565, the Mughal forces under Asaf Khan attacked Garhakatanga. So already we know that Garhakatanga, it was one of the largest kingdom, which was included about 74,000 villages. It was one of the powerful Gond kingdom during this time. Understood? So in 1565, the Mughal king, he was not a king actually, the head of the Mughal force was the Asaf Khan. So when the Asaf Khan, he was attacked Garhakatanga. When he was attacked now in 1565, the Mughal forces under Asaf Khan attacked Garhakatanga. So then afterwards what happened? A strong resistance was put up by Rani Durgavati. So she was not accepted, Asaf Khan. Instead of that, a strong resistance was put up by Rani Durgavati, and finally she was defeated and preferred to die rather than surrender. Her son too died fighting soon after. So ಕೊನೆಗೆ ಶರಣಾಗೋದಕ್ಕಿಂತೇಳಿ ಸೊ ಹೋರಾಟ ಮಾಡಿ ಮಡಿಯೋದೇ ಮೇಲು ಅಂತೇಳಿ ಆಕೆ ಸಾವನ್ನ ಹಪ್ತಾಳೆ, ಹೋರಾಟ ಮಾಡ್ತಾನೆ. ಹಾಗೆ ಹೋರಾಡ್ತಾನೆ, ಆತನ ಮಗ ಸಹ ಸಾವನ್ನ ಹಪ್ತಾನೆ. So dear students, Garhakatanga, it was one of the rich state. Garhakatanga, it was one of the rich state of Gonds. It earned much wealth by trapping and exporting wild elephants to other kingdoms. ಹೇಗೆ ಅವರು ಅಷ್ಟೊಂದು ರಿಚ್ ಆಗಿತ್ತು ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ, ಸೊ ಆಕ್ಚುಲಿ ದೇ ಆರ್ ಟ್ರಾಪಿಂಗ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೋರ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ಎಲಿಫೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಟು ಅದರ್ ಕಿಂಗ್ಡಮ್ಸ್. ಸೊ when the Mughals defeated the Gonds, so they captured a huge booty of precious coins and elephants. They were looted. The Mughals, they were looted precious coins and elephants. They annexed part of the kingdom and granted the rest. What happened afterwards? So they annexed part of the kingdom and granted the rest of the remaining to Chandra Shah. So actually Chandra Shah ಎಲ್ಲ ಕೊಳ್ಳೆ ಹೊಡೆದು ಲೂಟಿ ಮಾಡಿ ನಂತರ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ ಮಕ್ಕಳ? ಸೊ ಆಕ್ಚುಲಿ ದ ಪಾರ್ಟ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಕಿಂಗ್ಡಮ್ ಅಷ್ಟು ಇಟ್ಕೊಂಡು ಉಳಿದದನ್ನ ಅವ್ರು ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ದ ಹ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಓವರ್ ದ ಗ್ರಾಂಟೆಡ್ ದ ರೆಸ್ಟ್ ಆಫ್ ದ Garhakatanga ಟು Chandra Shah. So actually Chandra Shah was an uncle of Bir Narayan. Chandra Shah, he was an uncle of Bir Narayan. So Bir Narayan ಚಿಕ್ಕಪ್ಪ ಆದಂತಹ ಚಂದ್ರ ಶಾಗೆ ಅದನ್ನ ಬಿಟ್ಕೊಡ್ತಾರೆ ಮಕ್ಕಳ. So despite the fall of Garhakatanga, the Gund kingdoms survived for some times. However, they became much weaker and later struggled unsuccessfully against the strong Bandi, what we called, so the Bundelas and Marathas. So gradually what happened after the year? So they became much weaker and later so they were struggled unsuccessfully against the strong Bundelas and Marathas. So this is about a brief history of the Garan Katanga kingdom which was actually ruled by the Gunds tribe chief or the Raj. And the next class, dear students, we are going to discuss about the Ahoms. The Ahoms. So I hope you all of you understood this topic. Even though if you are not understanding, so please call me and then ask your doubts and then clear your doubts. The next class we are going to learn about the Ahoms. Thank you. Have a nice day.